By the time we entered Super Tuesday, the scale of our organization had mushroomed. Gone were the days when I could claim to know the majority of the people who worked for me. In the absence of such familiarity, fewer and fewer of the people I met in the course of a day addressed me as Barack. I was Sir now, or Senator. When I entered the room, staff would often get up out of their seats to move elsewhere, assuming that I didn't want to be disturbed. It made me feel old and increasingly lonely. In an odd way, so did the crowds at our rallies. They had swelled to 15, 20, or even 30,000 strong at a stop. People wearing the red, white, and blue Obama campaign logo on shirts and hats and overalls, waiting for hours to get into whatever arena we'd found. I'd hear the buzz of the crowd growing louder as I walked under the stands or bleachers to the staging area. I listened quietly backstage as a local person introduced me. And then would come the words, "The next President of the United States." A deafening roar, the sound of U2's City of Blinding Lights. And after a quick fist bump or a go get 'em boss, a walk through the curtain and onto the stage. I did this 2 or 3 times a day, traveling from city to city, state to state. And though the novelty wore off quickly, the sheer energy of those rallies never stopped filling me with wonder. Like a rock concert is how reporters described it, and in terms of noise at least, that was accurate. Once my speech was over and I walked off the stage to shake hands along the rope line, I often found people screaming, pushing, and grabbing. At some basic level, people were no longer seeing me, I realized, with all my quirks and shortcomings. Instead, they had taken possession of my likeness and made it a vessel for a million different dreams. I realized, too, that if supporters could mold bits and pieces of me into an outsized symbol of hope, then the vague fears of detractors could just as readily congeal into hate. And it was in response to this disturbing truth that I'd seen my life change the most. I had been assigned Secret Service protection in May 2007, just a few months after my campaign began, given the code name Renegade and around-the-clock security detail. This wasn't the norm. The number of threats directed my way exceeded anything the Secret Service had ever seen before. I no longer walked through the front entrance of a building when a back stairwell was available. Bulletproof barriers were placed inside any room I slept in, including our bedroom at home in Chicago. "It's like a circus cage," I complained to Marvin one day, "and I'm the dancing bear." There were times when I went stir-crazy, so fed up with the highly scheduled regimen of town halls, interviews, photo ops, and fundraising that I would up and take off, sending the agents scrambling to catch up, whispering "Renegade on the move" into their wrist mics. "The bear is loose!" Reggie and Marvin would shout a little gleefully during such episodes. To the relief of his keepers, the bear became accustomed to captivity. By the end of February, we had built what looked like an insurmountable lead over Hillary and pledged delegates. It was around this time that Pluff, always cautious in his assessments, called from Chicago to tell me what at some level I already knew. "I think it's safe to say that if we play our cards right these next few weeks, you will be the Democratic nominee for President of the United States."